طيب, Bismillah, continuing with the book Al-Fawa'id for Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah. We're at, نعم, I wrote here. فإذا فارقت الروح البدن التحقت برفيقها الأعلى أو الأدنى فعند رفيق الأعلى كل قرة عين وكل نعيم وسرور وبهجة ولذة وحياة طيبة وعند رفيق الأسفل كل هم وغم وضيق وحزن وحياة نكدة ومعيشة ضنك. So once the soul leaves the body, it reunites with its companion of the higher state, or that which is the lower state. Choose which one you want to have. You're going to have the best of the companions, من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين, or as they describe, مع فرعون وهامان, and the rest of them in the hellfire. So one is pleasure, one is displeasure. قال تعالى ومن أعرض عن ذكري فإن له معيشة ضنكا. Whoever averts my remembrance, he will have a terrible lifestyle. فذكره كلامه الذي أنزله على رسوله والإعراض عنه ترك تدبره والعمل به. His remembrance is his speech that he has sent down upon his messenger. And averting from him is not reflecting on the speech of Allah and acting in accordance to it. And that unpleasant lifestyle, فأكثر ما جاء في تفسير أنها عذاب القبر. Some say it means the punishment of the grave. قاله ابن مسعود وابو هريرة وابو سعيد الخدري وابن عباس وفي حديث مرفوع. Comes even hadith about that. وأصل الضنك في اللغة الضيق والشدة وكل ما ضاق فهو ضنك يقال منزل ضنك وعيش ضنك فهذه المعيشة الضنك في مقابلة التوسيع على النفس والبدن بالشهوات واللذات والراحة. So in return for you being loose with desires, your lifestyle now is going to be tightened and restricted and narrowed, and in particular your grave. فالنفس كلما وسعت عليها ضيقت على القلب. Every time you are loose and giving your soul what it wants, it tightens on your heart. حتى تصير معيشة ضنكا, to the point it becomes a life of the heart that is tight and restrained. You feel not really happy despite doing so much of materialistic affairs and of enjoyments. وكلما ضيقت عليها وسعت على القلب حتى ينشرح وينفسح. And every time you tighten yourself in terms of your whims and desires, of not giving yourself everything and what it wants, you expand upon your heart until you feel good deep inside. فَضَنْكُ الْمَعِيشَ فِي الدُّنْيَا. That's why you find these people that have all these women and have all these fame and wealth, some of them yet committing suicide. You said, what is bothering him deep inside? It's the lack of peace deep inside. And to the point that they don't even find enjoyment in what they have. They even keep trying different things and they still don't find enjoyment. Even the enjoyment is taken away from them. بموجب التقوى سعتها في البرزخ والآخر وسعة المعيشة في الدنيا بحكم الهوى ضنكها في البرزخ والآخرة. So you find it all goes back to taqwa and it built upon it. فآثر أحسن المعيشتين وأطيبها وأدومها وأشقي البدن بنعيم الروح ولا تشقي الروح بنعيم البدن فإن نعيم الروح وشقاءها أعظم وأدوم والنعيم البدن وشقاؤها أقصر وأهون والله المستعان. And so he says, try to give precedence of the best of the two lifestyles. Yani, which one are you going to give? The enjoyment of the body, or are you going to give the enjoyment of the spiritual side? Because the body is just a short enjoyment. Maybe a person just enjoys a few minutes, and then after that is regret and remorse and depression. فصل العارف لا يأمر الناس بترك الدنيا فإنهم لا يقدرون على تركها ولكن يأمرهم بترك الذنوب مع إقامتهم على دنياهم. That's why you find like the person that even does these acts of the ad sirriya, act of like masturbation, or acts of just looking at these images online of the nudity and such. You find perhaps at the beginning it's an enjoyment, but it just dies away. And then he just feels it bothering him. And he feels like he's just in a adab. And he's just been a captive to something that he can't come out. And he doesn't really enjoy in reality. And then the point that when he really tries to have a halal relationship, it affects him greatly. He doesn't even really be able to enjoy the halal relationship later on. So it's just a short-term affair at the expense of losing out something that is long-term and beneficial. ولكن يأمرهم بترك الذنوب مع إقامتهم على دنياهم فترك الدنيا فضيلة وترك الذنوب فريضة. يعني a person has to know that Al-Arif لا يأمر الناس بترك الدنيا. He's not going to command the people to leave off the dunya. But he's going to command them to leave off the sins while residing upon the dunya. Because leaving off the dunya is an additional act. But leaving off sins is an obligation. فكيف يؤمر بالفضيلة من لم يقم الفريضة? How can you tell someone to leave off the dunya and he's not even leaving off sins? You're going too far with him. And it starts with that which is closer and that which is an obligation. Brother, you're committing sins at work. Stop these sins. Then later on you can be like, okay, brother, this job is not the best job for you. This affair or this dunya, I think you're too greedy. Get more into ibadah, come to the masjid more. Then you can remind him from that angle. But right away you tell a brother, just come to the masjid. You need to tell him to stop the sins first. How is he going to come to the masjid? فإن صعب عليهم ترك الذنوب فاجتهد أن تحبب الله إليهم بذكر آلائه وإنعامه. MashaAllah, he's helping you give da'wah to people. If it's hard for them to leave off the sins, then work hard in trying to make them Allah beloved to them. By mentioning Allah's blessings and favors, His goodness to them and His good attributes. وَنُعُوتْ جَلَالِهِ فَإِنَّ الْقُلُوبَ مَفْتُورَ عَلَى مَحَبَّتِهِ. Because naturally the heart's inclined to loving Him. فإذا تعلقت بحبه هان عليها ترك الذنوب والاستقلال منها والإصرار عليها. Then after that, if he loves Allah and loves what Allah loves and His blessings and so forth, it's going to be easier for him to leave off these sins and to be independent from it and not to persist on it. Yahya ibn Mu'adh, one of the Salaf, said, طلب العاقل للدنيا خير من ترك الجاهل لها. A person that is intellectual seeking the dunya is better than an ignoramus leaving it off. Yeah. And if someone, you try to tell a person who doesn't know better, just leave the dunya, and things are going to go wrong. You need to educate him, explain to him. So these are the wordings that we wanted. A person needs to know how to start in educating people and calling them to Islam. Try to do targheeb at times, good, making them have interest in khair. Sometimes you do tarheeb. So it's not always speaking about the hellfire and the punishment. Those things don't work with some of these people. And it's hard for them to leave it off. They're trying to leave it off, but they can't. So you have to make their hearts love Allah more. Once they strengthen their love for Allah, they'll be able to leave off sins. It's not always going to work just telling them the consequences. He knows, but he's weak. So you have to strengthen his iman. So with this we stop, inshallah. Subhanaka wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wal mu'adhdhin yu'adhdhin. And also there's some iftar for those fasting. Jazakumullah khairan.